All right, so we just finished up our advanced ballet class virtually, our first one. So good work on making it through that. Now, I also have a virtual Pointe class for you guys, which I know you're probably thinking to yourself, how the heck are we going to make this work? Actually, I think that Pointe is one of the easiest things that you can work on, not in the studio. I mean, you guys probably remember that I've encouraged you to put your pointe shoes on even outside of the class, just to get acquainted with how it feels. And honestly, you guys probably have so much time on your hands that you could do this once, maybe even twice a day. So I'm just going to start by giving you some exercises with a TheraBand, something that looks kind of like this. It's basically just an elastic band. There are many different resistances depending on which color you have. This one feels not too crazy resistant, but not too loose either. So hopefully it's not too much for my ankles. But find one that works well for you. Honestly, you could really use anything that is elastic. You can ask your parents for something as well that can maybe help you. And basically we're just going to be wrapping it around the feet and helping articulate through the footwork. And this will help you not just in Pointe, but in ballet as well. So I'd encourage you to do this often and implement it into your practice. Couple things before we get started. Just once again, just be mindful, be safe of your surroundings. It's just something that we have to tell you to make sure that you don't break anything, and just be smart. Obviously, this isn't going to require a lot of room or space, but just don't put your pointe shoes on and decide that you're going to do 32 flattes on a very slippery floor. It's just not a good idea. Don't do it. So here we go. We're going to start sitting on the floor, and this is going to be exercise number 1. Now, you want to wrap the TheraBand. Mine isn't very long. I'm going to face this way so you guys can see it well. You want to wrap the TheraBand around the ball of the foot. Now, the way that you do it is you don't fully put it over the ball like this, because then you're not going to have too much resistance and your foot is going to slide like that. What you want to do is you want to basically have the foot resting inside of the TheraBand like this. So it's about half in, half off. And now I'm pulling it with my hands. Make sure you don't pull it too much, because what will happen is, number 1, you probably won't break the band, but you'll be uncomfortable. And number 2, you don't want to put that much pressure in the resistance. You want to be gentle with your body. Always be gentle with the body. So we're just going to start very simply with just flexing and pointing. So a slight pull here and pointing through to the fullest point, and then articulating up to the flex and pulling the whole time. Now, you should feel it right away. I already feel it, and this is only the second one. I recommend you do 8, and I'll go through and do all 8 with you. So this is 3. And make sure that it's going straight down and straight up. And the reason why is because the next exercises that we're going to do are going to work on the different angles. And so we don't want to get ahead of ourselves here. What number is this? 6? I think this is 6. This is 7. And this is 8. And this feels awesome. And in between each exercise, just kind of shake the ankle out a little bit. You can roll it around a bit. It's going to be a lot of really concentrated work, so don't do too much. You don't want to do 50 right away, because your ankle is just not ready for that kind of concentrated work. Before you know it, you'll stand up, you'll step, and you put weight on your foot, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, that is too much, because you're over flexing the ankle. Just do 8 to start. In the coming weeks, we'll kind of ramp it up, and maybe we can jump up to 10, and then 12, and then maybe even 16. But for now, just do 8. And then we'll do the same thing on the left side. I'm going to do it with you because, might as well. It's not a lot. It's just 8. And once again, see how this isn't wrapped super well because my toe is sticking out. So you want to pull it up just a little bit so that doesn't happen. This is number 2. And make sure it's almost like a 90-degree angle here with the arm. So it's not too high up here and it's not too low either. 90-degree, elbow tucked into the hip. This is number 4, I think. I may need to do a virtual math class. This is, oh boy, I think that's 5, maybe 6, 7, and 8. Now, resistance is the name of the game here. So if you're not feeling very much in the ankle, it's probably because your band is either too weak or you're not using enough resistance. And it's just like when we work standing. You want to feel the resistance of pressing into the floor and lengthening out. It's that opposition. Opposition is really the key to elasticity and strength, because those two really go hand in hand with each other. Think about it. The stronger something is and the more rigid it is, the less flexible it is. The more flexible something is, the more it can just go, right? You have the Barbie doll legs that can just go wah, 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 whatever, but they're not very strong. We as dancers, we have to find the balance between both, because we have to have extensions, of course. We want to get that beautiful soda shot in the air, but we also want to have strength so we can be able to do everything that we hope to do, while also, being strong and being athletic. We don't want to look weak, we want to look strong. And so these kinds of exercises are good for that. All right, next up, similar deal. I'm not going to go through all of them with you. Now you're going to take the band over to the right, and this is on my right foot, and believe it or not, you're going to hear me tell you to sickle. That's right. You're going to sickle over to that side, and then you're going to flex away. So sickle turned in almost, and flexing away. Now the ankle kind of stays where it is. So I'm not moving the hip, I'm not moving the leg itself, it's just the foot. So I'm pulling it here, away. Again, this is resistance, so when I sickle, this is kind of pronating, and then out to the supination. This is to strengthen the sides of the ankle because there are hundreds of muscles and muscle groups in this little ankle connector of the foot and the leg. It's actually quite remarkable. So you don't want to just go up and down because you're really limiting your strengthening. So we go in and then we flex out. And so we'll take 8 of those and 8 on the left side as well. And again, you can do these on your own. I'm not going to go through all of them for sake of time, but they are very handy. And then we're going to take the opposite of that. So we're going to point and you're going to sickle the other way. So it's going to go, this one's kind of hard. You're pulling it this way and it goes out like so. Almost like you're winging your foot, and then you flex and you pull it towards you a little bit. That's the hardest one for me, is this out. You really want to isolate the ankle, and for me, this is the one where I really tend to move my leg. So it goes out, still trying to point a little bit, and flex back and away. So we'll take 8 regular, 8 in and out, and then 8 out and in. And we do that both on the right and the left. That's super good to get you warmed up. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to put the TheraBand away for now, and we're just going to cross our legs here, and we're just going to roll the foot. Roll it in a circle. We're going to take 16 rolls out, and I mean really you can do as many as you'd like. This just warms up and activates the ankle. I always like to do this even before ballet class to get my ankles and my feet and everything warmed up. I like to warm up from the bottom up. So this is really a really great way to start class, to get ready for class. And then just kind of shake it out, massage, do all that. Massage is really, really great for somatics for the body, for activating the blood flow. So don't be afraid, don't be afraid if you have like maybe a tendon in your foot that's kind of a little bit sore. You can really just kind of get in there and massage it a little bit. Not too hard, you don't want to kill it. Again, be gentle with the body. But just massage it and let it loosen up and allow the blood flow to come to it. And then we'll do the other side. We'll just roll it out. Again, this isn't super like, you need to get really technical, like I'm gonna roll 16 times. It's very much whatever you want it to be. You can flex and point, resisting, whatever you need to do to really get where the ankles are working, very warmed up and very activated. So that way when we get to the bar and we do point work, you're not going straight from a cold leg onto point. It's not good. And hopefully you just finished with the ballet class, so you should be warm anyways, but anyways. So that's about it for this week for TheraBand exercises, but as we progress through the coming weeks, I'll give you more stretches to do to isolate the ankle specifically, and then we'll also probably add some for the leg, maybe even for the back too, because I think it's a good idea to get strength training in there as well. But again, feel free to do that as much or as little as you'd like. It's just a tool for you to use. Just don't overdo it, because this is something that you guys probably aren't used to doing. So I'm gonna go get the bar and we'll take a couple exercises and then we'll get those point shoes rolling. Here we go. All right, so we have our bar here. Once again, very pink, very wooden, very stable. Your bar is probably not pink, wooden, or stable. So be very careful as you proceed to do these exercises because now we're a little bit more unstable in the point shoe. Now, I'm still in ballet shoes because I do not do point work, but that doesn't mean that I can't teach point work. So, we're going to start with our usual pressage warm-up. Now, pressage means to press, and it's also actually kind of a lift where the man lifts the woman in an arabesque lift. So, while you are obviously not going to be getting lifted into the air, you can think about the quality of, as you lift the heel for the pressage, that it's being lifted and carried into the air. Very gently, very gracefully, very beautifully. And so I want you to really think about articulating through each part of the foot. So as you lift the heel, press into the floor, feel the ball, feel the arch, through the 3/4 point, and all the way to the slightly over point so that you're on point fully. Because what I see from a lot of you is that instead of being up here, you're back here. And you're not quite up there. And when you get to the point where you don't have the bar and you can't hang on, you're gonna fall back each and every time because you're not fully on the point shoe. So we're just gonna take press and through that parallel releve, press 3, 4. We'll probably take maybe 12, 16. The music is pretty gentle, it's not a big deal. Make sure that your heels aren't going out like this. I was kind of just doing it lackadaisically, but make sure that it comes through and the heels are together and down. Because if you open here, again, we just did the TheraBand exercises with the pronating and the supinating. You don't want to do that outside of that. It's not good. So we'll press regularly, and then we'll add a plie. Same thing. Plie on the supporting leg as you lower from the releve. Then we'll lower down to parallel, and then plie, roll through the 3/4 point. So I shouldn't see boom, boom. I should see boom, 3/4 point, and then all the way to the point as you stay in that plie position. It's hard because I'm not in the point shoe, but you guys know what I'm talking about. All the way to the point, and then use that plie to press into the floor. Feel the pressing down because for every piqué, although you're not climbing up, it's that action of I'm on the point shoe, I'm pressing into the floor that you need. And then we'll roll down, and then we'll reverse that, and then we'll do the whole thing in first position. Really, you can just kind of follow along, do however you need to do. Obviously, when we do it in the studio, this isn't super strict, it's just really to get you warmed up and ready to go. So let's take our pressage. Here we go. Parallel position. Don't hang on whatever you're using as a bar. Really try and do it without the bar. Your ankle should feel fired up. Add the plie. this plie. And straighten, feel the inner thighs. Beautiful. All right, so our feet should be very warm by now. So we're going to take a little bit more of a balance exercise. We're going to take 3 plie sous-sus, and on the last plie sous-sus, we're going to lift the front leg up to a passe, test the balance, close behind in sous-sus before we then plie. So it'll look like this: plie, sous-sus, plie, sous-sus, squeezing the legs together. Third time, up, draw it up, stay, close behind, and plie. And the music is very staccato, so you'll be able to hear it very well. Then we'll take it on the other side. 2, 3, up to passe, close behind in sous-sus, and then plie. And then second part, part B, so that was part A, this is part B, up to sous-sus, only once, draw it up, and then stay, find your balance, and then close behind. And then once again on the left side, up, stay, find the sous-sus, and plie. If you need to shift after part A forward because it moves back with each change back, do whatever you need to do. Again, this is not super like, you need to be technical. I just want you to find your balance and really feel the sensation of the sous-sus, drawing up to passe, back to sous-sus. Here we go. Use the plie. 5th position. Feel free to repeat that combination as many times as you need. If you want to just do the 3 and passe and not do the balance, that's okay. And you can always adjust the speed to do it a little bit slower. But just take your time, find your balance, feel the sensation of the sous-sus being on 2 feet and transferring to 1, because that's really important for really anything you do. All right, let's do one more combination and then we're going to call it for today. So this last combination that we're going to do for today is going to isolate plies from 5th and then plies on point. So you're really going to have to make sure that wherever you're at in the position that you're very stable and fully over the point shoe, because if you plie and you're not, whoo, it's going to be bad news. So here we go. You start in 5th position, right foot front, and you're going to échapper. And again, the music is very staccato, so you'll hear it. It's quite slow. You échapper to 2nd, hold, and change. 2nd, hold, and change. And then it's kind of a double time. You go out to 2nd, plie on the point shoe, in 2nd position, straighten up, and then change. And then once again, out to 2nd, plie in 2nd, up, and then change. Now, that plie in 2nd, I talked about how you want to make sure you're fully over the point shoe. Here you may go even a little bit over, not too much, because then you'll over all the way, but the plie, you can't be back. It's not going to be steady, it's not going to be stable. You have to make sure that you're fully on. So that applies to the one in 2nd, and after you do 2nd plie, 2nd close, 2nd plie, 2nd close, you basically repeat the whole combination except from 5th. But here's the thing. Instead of just rising up to sous-sus, you're going to take a plie and you're going to switch your legs. I know. Watch slowly. Right foot's in front, press through the plie, and bring the left foot front and the right leg back. And change. And then you hold, and plie. Now, the way to do that is through the plie. If you don't plie, it's very difficult. If you plie, you're able to push and change. And you can even take it on the croisé line. This is really going to work your inner thighs beautifully and help you really feel what it feels like to squeeze and cross over so that you know what that sous-sus sensation feels like. So once again, from the 5th position one, you cross, and plie, and you cross, and you plie, and then you cross, you plie in the 5th position, you straighten up, and then you lower, and then you cross, and then you plie, and then you straighten up, and then you lower. So you do it in 2nd, and then you do it in 5th, okay? So yeah, just really articulate through, find that 2nd position, find that 5th, and have fun with it. This is the last point combination for today, and we have a lot more in store for you next week, so here we go. So you can take that as many times as you'd like. I'd recommend doing it one more time in addition to what I just did. You can rewind and repeat it. You get to hear me say whoops again, so you can replay it as many times as you like, really. That's going to do it for today's point class. Hope that you got something from it, and hope these exercises will help strengthen your ankles and help you feel stronger on point. And again, I recommend you do these daily if you can, or every other day. And you can continue to practice your bourrées as well, just in susu, just front, back, bending the knees, feeling the overcrossing that we just felt in that last exercise. And just continue to work those point shoes, because if we neglect them for weeks at a time, it's going to be very difficult to come back and do a lot. And I want us to keep improving. So continue to stay healthy, stay safe out there, praying for you guys and your families. Enjoy this time with each other. And we'll continue to bring these virtual classes to you as best we can. So have a good one, guys. We'll see you later.